Restarting PG prep after a 4-year gap after MBBS, while managing both marriage and divorce, chronic depression, multiple surgery. What kept you going?
It's very tough to keep going. In initial days, I thought I have lost it completely. My MBBS is going to be useless. I was not even having basic confidence to talk to people. I remember some days I used to submit my grand test by only doing 10 questions. And I was not afraid of what marks I'll get, or I was just thinking that I have to be there. Even though I am on antidepressants, I won't be able to get up. Still, I used to put some alarm, used to try.
If you want to quote lines from your poem.
तो बना नहीं बनाया गया है, तू चमकेगा एक दिन सबसे ज्यादा, इसीलिए तपाया गया है। तू पूछता होगा सवाल ऊपर देखकर, क्यों मैं ही क्यों, तुझे सारे जवाब मिलेंगे, इसीलिए जमीन पर बिठाया गया है। तू बना नहीं बनाया गया है, तू चमकेगा एक दिन सबसे ज्यादा, इसीलिए तपाया गया है।
So welcome to today's episode, where we share powerful stories of resilience and transformation. Meet Anuti Priya, a medical student whose journey has been shaped by incredible challenges and strength. Since her first year of MBBS, Anuti has been battling grade 4 severe endometriosis and undergoing multiple surgeries and continuous treatment over the 12 years. Despite these struggles, she pushed through her final year of MBBS, only to find herself in an early marriage that hindered her ambitions. This led to depression, but instead of giving up, she used this time to prepare for her PG exams. After a painful divorce and a 4-year gap in her studies, Anuti is now pursuing her MD in anesthesia at BJMC Medical College in Ahmedabad. A poet and a fighter, Anuti's story is a testament to overcoming adversity and starting anew and never giving up on your dreams. Tune in to hear her inspiring journey. So, hello, Dr. Anuti. How are you? And thanks for joining us.
Hi, sir. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, so starting with your present situation, like you have chosen anesthesia and have been clear about this decision. What drew you to it, and how was your journey have been so far?
Actually, in my MBBS, I thought of going ahead with medicine. I was not into surgical mindset. But after my internship, when I figured out, I understood that anesthesia is something which will suit my personality, will suit my lifestyle. And adding on to further challenges, I understood that, okay, this is one branch will let me give more of my capacity, because it gives me a cool and calm place to perform my duties rather than those heavy wards and challenging jobs at the ward and direct interaction. So I am totally enjoying this branch. I'm in love with this branch basically.
Okay, so restarting PG prep after a 4-year gap after MBBS, while managing both marriage and divorce during that period. So it is not easy move. So what kept you going?
I'll be very honest that it's very tough to keep going when the going gets tough. We all know, but I had a positive outlook towards life. I sometimes in initial days I thought I have lost it completely. I'm not going to make my comeback again. My MBBS is going to be useless. How will I ever? I was not even having basic confidence to talk to people. I would just talk to my parents or my siblings, but no one else. So my confidence was, I think, in minus, not even zero. So, but when gradually, when I started improving, I kept a disciplined routine. Though I was not able to give much of my time, but whatever time I could give, I was sticking to my routine, very disciplined. Like I would know that I'm not going to give my best, but still I would just try and keep giving my grand test. I remember I used to submit, some days I used to submit my grand test by only doing 10 questions. And I was not afraid of what marks I'll get, or I was just thinking that I have to be there. I just have to show up. So I think the disciplined lifestyle, discipline towards my choice, because I chose to do NEET PG. No one compelled me, not even my parents, no one. It was my choice that after MBBS, I want to give NEET PG preparation a shot. So discipline has to be with me only. So I just made sure that I have to show up. Whatever my life thing is, even though I am on antidepressants, I won't be able to get up. Still, I used to put some alarm, used to try. So I think a positive attitude and discipline is very important if you have thought of doing something.
So you have faced significant personal challenges like legal issues, divorce, chronic depression, multiple surgery, and hormonal issues. Through it all, you still showed up every day. So what gave you the strength to continue?
Um, I have been blessed to be surrounded with amazing parents. I mean, all parents are amazing, but I know what kind of parents I have who were totally with me, and my brother who was a constant pillar of support. So I have turned out to be very lucky when it comes to friends also. So even though I was not in a mental capacity to, at some point of time for, I think, good 2.5 years, I was not in a good framework to even check my phone and reply to people who were trying to reach me out when they came to know about my sufferings. But I remember I used to just read that they have said something very positive. I understood that, okay, they have said something very positive, but I don't know what they have said. Like my brain was not in a frame to contemplate everything or to respond them. But I understood one thing, that no one was sending me anything negative or triggering thing. Also, I kind of detached myself from, very consciously, I detached myself from social media, or because they will set up false standards. When you will see people posting very good things of their vacation, of their good busy life, you know that it is going to hamper you. Sometimes it will motivate you, but in a very guarded amount. For that, you can always, like your this pages or some other platforms where they will talk about inspiring journeys, that is enough for the motivation, not those personal Instagram pictures and all. So very consciously, as I told you, I have been very disciplined when it comes to it. I consciously removed myself from social media. I was not very active. Then not watching much of movies and songs. Even too much of emotion can put you in a very bad situation, even too much of love also, for that matter. So I detached myself from all those things, and I just kept going with my studies and all. And that, I think, that was one good thing, that I consciously stopped the trigger factors. I knew that one weak moment can collapse me, and all the positive coming out from loved ones. And those tough times will test what true friendships are. So I turned out to be very lucky with friends and family.
So when all stakes were up, you choose not to dwell into the negatives and build your mindset to sort out internal factors to face external challenges. We all need to learn this from you, and you are an inspiration for all of us. So,
So kind.
yeah. So when your thoughts were clouded and it felt overwhelming, how did you bring yourself back on track, and how did mentorship and support system impact your journey?
See, definitely I was. I think I can't name those coaching institutes on this platform, but I was with all the famous coaching institutes you will be knowing. I was part of one and the other also in the span of 4 years. So that time also, as I told, that I would just make sure that I have to do whatever work is given to me. And few days were really tough. I won't lie. I cannot give false, hopes to whoever the listener are of this podcast or interview, that everything is okay and things will be fine. It's not. Those who are suffering, they know it's not. It's very easy to say. So if they want to take anything from my life, I would just say that please have faith. It's very difficult, but trust me, have faith. Whatever you are doing, have faith. Even 10%, you know that it is a high stake exam, or anything for that matter. As I said previously also, that even if you are looking for sports, some breakthrough in your business or anything, the faith is very important. You know that 10% of effort is not going to give you 100% of result, but still do that 10 effort, because that is your maximum capacity at that point of time. So don't think that with just 10% of effort, I'm not going to make ever, I won't give surgery, dermat, radio, or whatever sort of branches they are looking for. But at least remember that then that 10% is your maximum at that day. And that is enough to make universe, listen to your prayers and align to get, like, to make sure you get what you're looking for. So it's a simple math. It's very difficult, but at least 1%, if it is your best, then make it 1% also. So it's very tough some days. My court hearing dates used to match with my exams, because I was a constant failure. If you say, as a NEET PG aspirant, I was a constant failure. But very shamelessly or faithfully, I don't know, I used to fill all the forms. All the forms. Sorry, this flight sound may come.
Yeah.
So I used to show up in all the exams. I used to not think that this is PGI Chandigarh and where I am I won't be able. But that time I was giving AIMS and PGI Chandigarh separately also. I thought that even if it's required for travel, like traveling will make you feel good. At least travel to go and give some exam, not just waste your time like that. So I used to do like my code dates would also clash, but I used to think that okay, I'll do whatever it takes. And trust me, had I not been successful, even I would have doubted my entire process, which I am very, confidently telling your viewers right now. But since I have made it, and trust me, I have made it much greater than my efforts. I think the place where I am, with the kind of people I am, with the kind of degree and everything and exposure, I think my efforts were somewhere less only the kind of reward universe has given me. So that's why I can just tell anyone who is listening that have faith, have have faith, things will fall into place. Just keep going. Just be very honest with your efforts, with your people who are very positive towards you. Don't give false hopes to yourself also, or to the people also around you, because that will put you in a very negative cycle, and that will set false aspirations also.
So you often emphasize focusing on internal factors over the external pressures. So how did you build that mindset to face challenges without being overwhelmed?
In my very first year of MBBS, just when I was going to give my first professional exam, I was diagnosed with my medical condition. And I remember that I used to be sincere in my class. I was not very studious that entire day I'm studying, I have my specs on, nothing like that. But in my lecture, I used to be very attentive. Whatever is happening in dissection hall also, I will be very, I know dissection hall is a place where everyone will have divided attention. But I used to make sure that if someone is teaching me, I should be at a grasping end. But right before my professional exam, I was diagnosed with this condition, and emergency laparotomy, like exploratory laparotomy, was planned. And with my 7 or 8 sutures, I was sitting in exam and giving exam. My first professional anatomy, biochem, physiology, very dreaded of. So that time, it was very beginning of things. It is 2013, which I'm saying. That time I understood that, nothing is in our hand. Even though I thought that, and, even my NEET also, like undergraduate also, it was after good 3 attempts. It was after 3 years of, that is a very different story I can't bring up here. Those 3 was also very challenging. So that time I understood that even if I plan, no, that I will do very good in my MBBS, I will study, I can't have control of things. See, this is something I will be operated with something like this. I didn't have a single menstrual symptom, and this is my diagnosis. From that time, I started living my life also very merrily. My second, third, fourth, like everything was going very good at that time. And later things, got added up only. Like, it has not been simple. I don't know how can I just summarize things, but every year was a new challenge to me. Be it my medication, be it my treatment, be it looking for alliance, being it that I'm on taking time off of infertility, and only solution was get a child, and then you can get rid of your ovaries and this, very severe condition which you are having. That time also, this decision is not easy, looking for a partner in arranged marriage, and then knowing that you want to have an early child, knowing that you are very ambitious and you want to do certain things in medical career. But I had to take all those decisions. So that's why, after this, after graying my hair, whatever hair I have grayed, after in span of 15 years, I have understood that you cannot have charge of the condition, but you can have charge of your response. And so many people who motivate us and all will say this line only, but I have lived through it, so I can just stamp it over that you cannot have a grasp of the external situations. You can always, stay disciplined. That is in you. You can always be positive. That is in you. You can mold your lifestyle like that. It was never, after my surgery, I used to wake up at 5:30 a.m. in morning in my UG hostel. No one was awake. Hardly 2 3 girls used to be awake. So neither I wanted to do that. Even I want to sleep a little late, or awake, be little late, watch movies and what other people are doing in UG. But I knew that my life has to be different. It is different. I have to have a charge of it differently. So that time only I shaped myself like that, and I was not knowing that it is going to be difficult only. My life will have bigger challenges, but I think those little positive things which I developed has kept my mind sane also. And being doctors, we were just studying that good food will have good mind resides in good body. But when your system collapses, like, even if you have been a very good eater, very disciplined person, when something which I faced, the kind of depression, anxiety, panic, and I can't bring up kind of atrocities I felt around me. It's very difficult to actually cope up back. But I think because I was taking care of myself very diligently, it it has become a little bit easier for me. And trust me, when I go through news like people, doctors committing suicide, and so I when I see those news, I think that I was just 3 seconds away from being that. And I'm not extrapolating; it's a fact. I think just things which I did very diligently has worked for me.
So I remember you sharing how journaling, discipline, and being mindful of your circle helped you build courage and self-belief. So can you elaborate on this?
Yeah. So I think it's not just a span of after UG. I think I was raised like that. I will take this opportunity to thank my parents who raised me like that. And it's not to bring any of your listener to feel that they can't redo things now, because being raised is what they have been raised like. But after this is one conscious decision that I knew my parents have sacrificed, and I'm sure 90% of people, doctors, will have same kind of stories where their parents sacrifice. So at that point of time, when you are adult enough, where you have to take your decisions, and when you're conscious of your parents sacrifice, not just for a fact that they did, but understanding, because you're just 5-6 years away from being a parent. And it's you should be very mindful in your adulthood that things people have done. So at that time, I thought that things have happened. Those were supposed to happen have happened. Now it's up to me how I reconcile back, because it's not just my life. People have invested so much into me, and they don't want anything in return. That time also, they were like, "You make most of your life. You be happy." All your good people will say this only. They don't want anything for themselves. So at that time, I looked upon my past life. I used to write diary in my school. I had the habit of writing diary entry. So while I was, coping up, I was growing, I was responding to my depression medicine. I used to go back to those diaries and see that, Anuti, you have done much good things in life at the past, and it was you only. So have little faith. So that's how I brought back good stuff back to me, and I started channelizing my energy towards good things. And just I said a few minutes back that external factors you cannot have control. And even I have been growing. Even today I grow. It's not that I have done something and I have reached somewhere, I have become a saint, I have become a monk. It's nothing like that. Even today, while my interactions with, I have my co-PGs who are 99 born and I'm 91 born. They are 8 years, 9 years younger to me. So their approach towards things, and sometimes I feel also they have bit easy life. I don't want to sound negative, but challenges we had 8 years back was very different than theirs. And sometimes even few people, because I will say sometimes things like, okay, please, we don't do triple riding on scooty or things like. People have referred to me like I don't be an auntie, and that time they were also not knowing that I am actually 91 born. I can be auntie to them, but they used to say me things like, I used to just held back and think, okay, I have become something like this. But I took everything very positive. Trust me, even today while I'm saying this, I don't feel bad at all. Because the more you accept your situation, you can be very kinder to yourself. My financial condition was very different from other people. Rather than being envious of what people are getting, sometimes we think that, okay, people could do MBBS, because for a government college admission, I had to take drop of 3 years. Even that time also, without having these challenges in life, I was very sure that it's their life, it's not mine. Mine has its challenges where I can't pursue my dream by getting into a private college. So my challenges are different. So I think when you are adulting, you should be very conscious of, and very accepting towards whatever you are getting. So even today, I'll be having this clash with my colleagues also. My mental clash only. I won't say anything verbally to them, and I would enjoy. Even today, I would enjoy. Sometimes they refer to me as that your energy doesn't look that you are, 30. You're going to be 34. Had not you told us, we were considering you to be. So I think that I know my body aches, I know my back ache, I know my knee ache, but it is not translating in the way I am carrying myself. So it's only because I have accepted myself like that.
So, for younger medicos who are dealing with uncertainty, self doubt, and relationship struggle these days, what advice you do give? How can they build their own systems to stay strong through life's challenges?
As I said previously, that you cannot have hold of anything which is externally coming to you, even negative comments, even a cheating partner, or any kind of abuse you are going through. But the response is up to you. You can, it's difficult, definitely it is difficult, but little by little and having faith. Trust me, having faith is everything. At some point of time, you have to have a faith when people are telling that things will fall into place. Sab kuch acha ho jayega. Even when I was being told things like that, I used to think, kya acha hoga iske baad? How can this crash life, how can I can never stand back from this place. But since I have done without doing anything fancy, by just doing whatever I was supposed to do, I think everyone can, reconcile back. Everything will fall into place. So this little faith will keep you happy. And trust me, don't expect anything miraculous from the universe or people around you. Everyone is having a simple life. Everyone is doing their simple job. You also, with all your suffering, just keep going simple. Don't expect that today in your grand test you have got like 10%, 10 percentile of marks, and you have studied for 10-15 days even after your challenges, and in next test you'll get 99. No, you have to take baby steps. Nothing miraculous will happen, but trust me, it will happen. And when it will happen, you will feel that, Array, it was so miraculous. Even today, I think, oh, Cosmos has made things like, I would always overlook the efforts I have made. I'd always find my efforts very tiny to what universe has rewarded. But at least I know that whatever I had, I put 100% of it. So your 10% can be your 100% at some days. So have faith on whatever, but please do it with a very pure intention, with your whole of heart. Nobody will know. Even today, when I walk in my wards, in my OTs, nobody will know what I had yesterday. But I don't want sympathy. It's my conscious decision that I don't want my, any sympathy. So I have responded to things like that. I won't go and crib around. I would just go and do my work. And even today, it's not the end of my life. I have a whole good decade to live further. So even today, I keep learning that, okay, I have to have charge of my situations more, because I'm from BJMC Ahmedabad, and everyone knows kind of residency it is here. And trust me, it is very much challenging. Even I was discouraged by few people that you were getting DNB, which is not having bond in your home state, hardly 1 kilometer away from you. Then why very consciously you are going to some place after all the challenges, mental illness, on the medication, away from family, almost 1800 kilometers? Why are you doing that? And I said, if I've started loving anesthesiology, I have to do it for my love. And trust me, it has never made me feel down. Very, very difficult lifestyle it was for my first, second year, given my chronic condition, and no break at all. We don't, in our roster only, things are like that. You don't have 1 minute of break also. But I did it, and I know something good is in the, in the box also in further of me. That's why. So this time also, I took up this challenge. So you have to, if you're liking something, because doing NEET PG is your choice. So for that, you have to show up, and you have to have faith.
So nowadays, this is the second last question for you. So nowadays, now you have been through your MBBS and now you are doing your post graduation. So many people complain that in our medical life we can't balance our personal life or with the family life with our studies. So because of that, many people have suffered from like breakups and all, and many more things like issue with the family members and all. So what your advice to those people who are watching you right now?
See, any relationship is between two people. You can give you 100%, but you don't know the other person can give or not. So don't have burden of what other people are not giving you. I'll be very blunt when I'm saying this, not to be harsh to any of your listeners, but just a practical thing that I can give my 100%, but for other person I can't make them do anything for me. So accept it. It's not because of you things are happening, it's because of other person also. So start being little less harsher on you. And if someone is supposed to go, I mean, coming from me who literally tried one hard year and faced all that in my life, it's very funny of also to say, but trust me, it never worked. It never worked for anyone. It won't work for you also. So give you 100%, take it to a point where you are exhausted, like not completely exhausted when I say it, but you are exhausted with all your efforts. So this is a good time to set a back. And life is not fair. Life will give you abundance of happiness, but it's not fair at times also. As when I'm saying this, even I find myself in a very unfair situation. But rather than complaining of what life is throwing at you, you can always turn things uh, on your command and in your goodwill. So relationships will be like this for so many people. It's, I don't know how it happens, but I have seen people struggling. I have seen myself also struggling. So you cannot have charge of what other person is thinking of you. But one thing is for sure, that if you are taking your mind, your professional life, your body to a point where you are happy within, people will start liking you. Trust me, when I was with all the way I look, the way I carry myself, with whatever knowledge I have been like this only all my life. But only when I started living happy, people started recognizing me, acknowledging me. Even just a practical thing, had I been crying somewhere sitting in, even in anesthesiology in BJMC also, had it been crying in my room, giving up on life, I was not capable of sitting here. Just because I took it positively, I started being happy. I started telling word happily that I have been through this, and see, I'm doing and I'm very happy. People have started acknowledging that, see, Anuki, she is happy. If my challenges were with me only, I was like this only. But had I been crying sitting here, I don't have a partner, I have this life, I'm aging, I'm this, I'm that, stuff like that, no one would have recognized that I have been through something and I'm a very great person to talk to. No. But just when I started being happy, I started getting attention. So just imagine, and not for the attention and not for anything, but the acknowledgement which you are thinking, even from a partner who is a third person, like the second person to you. For that reason, you have to be happy. So it will only come when you will set goals which you can conquer and you can move towards it. So it's a very simple math which I think I have cracked it, because today also I've understood that I am like this, I'll look like this, but until and unless I'm happy, a man would look for a companion in me. And if I'm crying, even with a committed partner also, even if you are in a relationship where you are very happy together, start being unhappy from today. Start being unhappy, start being complaining, start being crying over anything. Even they will fade off. So it's nothing to crib around it, but being very positive to yourself will help you anyways.
So you are living example of how life's toughest moments don't decline the end of your story. So what's one belief that has kept you going through it all?
I think one should never forget why even it started. So when things were tough, I only used to think that, why did I choose this? I mean, I chose this profession, I chose whatever I chose, the companion, the situation, choosing that, okay, I'll have a child first, then I'll do my internship. It was all my decision. So you have to live it up with you, and never forget why you even started. And then things will be very rewarding for you. It will make sense to you. Even if I was, uh, scolded at times here, and so many things even happened here, I used to smile and think that, okay, I chose this. Now I had so many things, I chose this. So why to complain? I have to be happy. And later on, I understood that people are acknowledging this, that Anuti is very happy and she won't be crying. She won't feel that anyone is toxic around. People would say that, it's a very toxic place to be. And I was like, toxic. I'm enjoying. And they used to think that, how can you enjoy? And some used to comment also that, Anuti, you're enjoying way too much in your first year. You will start disliking it in your third year. I was like, I used to think in my head that I have nothing to feel bad. Anything is good to me. I'm at this stage of my life that anything is good to me. Just being in BJMC is someone's dream. And if I'm living, I should be happy with whatever challenges it is giving to me. So yeah, that's one good thing to stick on, that never forget why you even started.
So, being a poet, at the end, if you want to quote some of your lines from your poem.
Okay, yes, I can say this. तू बना नहीं, बनाया गया है. तू चमकेगा एक दिन सबसे ज्यादा, इसीलिए तपाया गया है. तू पूछता होगा सवाल ऊपर देखकर, क्यों, मैं ही क्यों. तू देखता होगा ऊपर और करता होगा ये सवाल, क्यों, मैं ही क्यों. तुझे सारे जवाब मिलेंगे, इसीलिए जमीन पर बिठाया गया है. तू बना नहीं, बनाया गया है. तू चमकेगा एक दिन सबसे ज्यादा, इसीलिए तपाया गया है. Thank you.
Very good. So nice of you for joining us and telling your story to all the people who are also suffering. And I think after watching this, they will get motivation to move further in life, avoiding all those negative things. So I hope you wanna do very well in your life, and I also pray for you that definitely you will get everything what you are here for. So at the end, thank you for joining us, and thanks a lot.
And take a moment to say, I feel truly honored to be here. I'm having this moist eye also. I'm a very sensitive person. And that's what I want to tell you, viewers, that see, life will reward you in whatever you're going through in life. It has to be tough. I know it will be very tough for you guys. But see how life will reward you. In my faintest of dream, I would have never thought of, having an interview like this. This is my first ever interview. I feel truly blessed. Thank you for having me here, sir.